it is a colonial language, but we actually been requested to say something because there are some other people here who are so much interested in what we said. Our topic is the issue of corruption as far as leadership in Nigeria is concerned. I expressed my own understanding. I said corruption does not spare any other country. And the human being, as you see him, as long as you don't implement the rules and the regulations of the country, don't think you can stop him. Human being can turn into anything. Sometimes he can even become animalistic. He even kills in pursuit of his own interest. It's universal, it's all over the world. That is why you find the world in crisis today. In Nigeria, you can really see somebody whose salary is not more than 300 naira a month. You find him having many houses, many cars, and everything. Nobody can believe what recently happened. A former accountant general of the Federation in Nigeria, who is accused and before the court of law for stealing over 109 billion naira, was last 3 weeks turbaned by the emir of Kano in Kano, great celebrations, and the people were celebrating what actually was not in our character. This is something entirely new to us. You can't believe this. People claim that Nigeria has no money. Nigeria has money, but Nigeria has mismanagement. The leaders are not sensitive. National Assembly is not sensitive at all. And not only that, if care is not taken, future elections will be very, very difficult to be conducted in Nigeria. You queue up, you vote. At the end of the day, the final decision will be taken by a number of few people at the tribunal. You move for appeal, then you move even to the Supreme Court. And for every stage you go, it is expenditure. I assure you, expenditure of the lawyers and the others. And not only that, every part of Nigeria today is soiled. The ordinary voters are affected. People who are conducting elections affected. INEC people affected. You can't believe this. And even our malams are affected. As long as we don't use our laws, we don't take care, we don't punish those who are offenders, then only God knows where Nigeria is moving to. We blame the bandits every day. Why do we blame them? They risk their lives. Then what of these people in government houses well protected, but looting treasury every day? And when we see them, we almost worship them, we praise them, we sing about them, we dance for them, we create drama for them. This was not the culture of Sokoto Caliphate. This was not the culture of Sokoto Caliphate. Somebody came here and met Muhammad Bello during his own time. He couldn't believe that was the Caliph. He said, I'm looking for the Caliph. He said, this is the Caliph. He said, no, you can't be the Caliph. He said, I'm the Caliph. What we were told is during the government work, they use the government light. Then during their private work, they use their private things. How do we expect Nigeria to move forward? And we don't blame ourselves, including myself, university lecturer, doesn't attend the lectures, is always busy following politicians, becoming the scribe of politicians, waiting for? No, hand out. Something is really wrong. We have to think. I can't believe this. How can somebody justify to me and tell me that 500 cows being moved, nobody will trace their steps, no dust, and they disappear? And you tell me former director, NSO another, former director, NSA another, former NSA another, director of military intelligence, former another. Yet something is wrong. it is a colonial language, but we actually been requested to say something because there are some other people here who are so much interested in what we said. Our topic is the issue of corruption as far as leadership in Nigeria is concerned. I expressed my own understanding. I said corruption does not spare any other country. And the human being, as you see him, as long as you don't implement the rules and the regulations of the country, don't think you can stop him. Human being can turn into anything. Sometimes he can even become animalistic. He even kills in pursuit of his own interest. It's universal, it's all over the world. That is why you find the world in crisis today. In Nigeria, you can really see somebody whose salary is not more than 300 naira a month. You find him having many houses, many cars, and everything. Nobody can believe what recently happened. A former accountant general of the Federation in Nigeria, who is accused and before the court of law for stealing over 109 billion naira, was last 3 weeks banned by the
disclosed that over 2.5 million accounts have already been opened and nearly 7 million citizens registered for national identification numbers to facilitate financial access.
True financial inclusion is about granting individuals and communities the means to participate meaningfully in the economy, break the cycle of poverty, and elevate their quality of life through access to essential financial services. The last speaker made it clear that opening accounts is only one aspect, but ensuring the people that have accounts benefit from social intervention is key to economic empowerment.
Reflecting on his tenure as chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking and Financial Institutions, Governor Sani said he sponsored the Banking and Other Financial Institutions Act, BOFIA 2020. He pointed out that the legislation brought fintech companies under the regulatory oversight of the central bank, helping expand digital financial services to underserved communities.
I want to say here that before the amendment, BOFIA Act was 29 years obsolete. It wasn't in line with global best practice. And if you go around the countries around Africa, no country in the world, not even Africa, will leave their BOFIA Act, Banking and Other Financial, to stay even for 5 years without amendment. A lot has happened since fintechs were brought under the severe regulatory oversight. They have expanded their operations and have been reaching many Nigerians who are formerly outside the financial services system. Fintechs have been supporting the financially exploited populations in Kaduna State and Northern Nigeria in general by giving them access to mobile wallets and banking services, which include access to credit and donor agencies' interventions program.
The representative of Vice President Kashim Shettima commended Kaduna State for taking the lead in access to financial inclusion services, especially through the executive order on financial inclusion passed by the governor.
Your Excellency, Kaduna State, under your visionary leadership, has committed to the expansion of economic and financial inclusion and give it the utmost priority. And this is evident by your issuing the first executive order on financial inclusion by any state government in the country at the very start of your administration. Let me use this opportunity, therefore, to congratulate the governor and the good people of Kaduna State for playing a leading role in access to finance in Nigeria.
On this platform, I'm therefore pleased that the government of Kaduna State is strongly committed to leveraging financial inclusion as a formidable tool to fight multidimensional poverty in the state. The state leadership can further deepen financial inclusion of its citizens by promoting expansion of mobile banking and agent banking network services at state level.
The Kaduna State government believes that through financial inclusion, the root causes of insecurity will be addressed, which are unemployment and inequality. The state has pledged to intensify efforts in expanding financial inclusion as a strategy to lift millions out of poverty. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News, Kaduna.
And so these are all the things that are happening. So there are reasons for everything. For instance, all the noise you're hearing now about politics in Akwa Ibom, Edo State, Rivers State, and rest of it. It's funding. Elections are coming. Who will man the purse? I was speaking with about
at federal level, the presidential
election, and so these are all the things that are happening. So there are reasons for everything. For instance, all the noise you're hearing now about politics in Akwa Ibom, Edo State, Rivers State, and rest of it. It's funding. Elections are coming. Who will man the purse? I was speaking with Obasanjo one time, and he told me, he said, he listed some things. I said, those are the things that are necessary to find the chart. Should I find the chart?
Find the chart. That would be interesting.
I'm just going to read the chart. He said, so no, for him, it was like, he thought I was going to go into politics. So he was very happy when I was talking with him. He said, Ali, I'm happy that you are now.
I don't know what kind of witchcraft you practice, because I was going to ask you
about the relationship with him.
No, not just about him. You said he thought you were going to go into politics. I was going to ask you why.
Why I did not. Okay, so I'll get to it. So he says, hey, wait, okay, yeah. He says, Ali, yeah, I'm going to read that. Ali, I'm happy you are catching on with politics, but you still have a lot to learn. And I said, like what, sir? He said, like how you get governors and presidents elected. So you need 7 governors to win an election. Lagos, Bayelsa, Delta, Rivers, Kano, Kaduna, and the CBN governor.
To win at federal level, a presidential
election. You need 7 governors. 1, Lagos. 2, Bayelsa. 3, Delta. 4, Rivers. 5, Kano. 6, Kaduna. 7, the CBN governor.
So you just, without, even if you are a political novice,
you know what all this means.
Understand the permutation.
Exactly. And so when I said, but Kano and Kaduna don't have much. He said, that's for numbers.
For numbers. True. For numbers.
He said, and what is money? That's numbers too. All right. He goes to say, you need 44 of the most popular senatorial districts. He said, you need to have awarded 10 contracts, and 15% of that contract can give you marginal impact at the polls. And you must award these contracts in your first year of assumption of office.
Whoa.
Because if you don't do that, then you can't ask the people for anything. Because when you give them at the first year of your getting into office, when it's time for elections, you just tell them, do you want to continue this contract, or they know what to do. He said, you must name your CGN, you must name your IGP, you must name your Controller General Customs, you must name the head of the NNPC, you must name your CBN governor. And if you want to get into the judiciary, you must suspend pending cases of corrupt past governors who are loaded. Don't forget that those guys have chests.
War chests.
War chests that's just sitting down waiting for who they want to align with. No matter how much EFCC milks from them, they still have plenty. These are people who were sitting on a monthly federal allocation. Don't forget that. Sometimes when, your federal allocation, like some states will mention, when they get their federal allocation, they don't touch it. They actually add to it because their state internally generated revenue is higher than what the federal gives to them. So if federal government gives them 3 naira, they can add 4 naira to it and spend 7. So when they leave office, EFCC can't come look for them because they added money to what federal government gave them. But you see that internally generated revenue. that is their sweat, as it's called. It's their money. They generated it themselves. They can determine anything they want to do with it. Lagos State internal generated revenue is higher than what federal government gives them.
So Obasanjo seized it for like forever.
They call this bluff.
Nobody cared.
They call this bluff. That's what we used to pay salaries. Just, and then it says, yes, this is the meaty part of it. Say get US or China support. Because of their businesses in your country, they would support whoever. You heard the fallout from the Senate in this thing that said how they helped Buhari to get into office and remove Jonathan. National Association of Nigerian Students. NANS. Market Women.
NURTW.
Unsettled the organized labor.
Settle or unsettle?
Unsettle. Now, organized labor is where you then have people who protest. We are not this, we are this, and we are supporting that. We don't like this. All of that. There's one other. Get 10 of the richest Nigerians on your side. And we know the usual suspects. Infiltrate opposition parties and let them decamp before election. So, you have your party. I want to infiltrate the party. I'll send my people to leave my own party and join your own party before the elections. So when the time of elections comes, they will then disrupt the whole thing. They probably will be the ones they put in charge of electioneering campaign. You won't know that the reason they decamp from that side was to make sure that your own campaign doesn't succeed. So when you are planning and saying, no, this is what we'll do this, they inform those people that this is what they plan to do. So by the time...
And later on, you will hear they are going back to their old party.
Exactly. then somebody did it when he said, he was supposed to be, I think Ashiwaju's campaign guy. Then he left to go and support the guy from Kano. Sometimes when these people say some things, you have to respect this. Infiltrate opposition parties and let them decamp before them. Buy delegates 1 year before your congresses. 1 year before the congresses, buy them. So I asked, how do you buy congresses? It's okay, so this is what you do. You know who and who will be selected as delegates. You can permutate and say, this man will be delegates in another 4 years. You give 2 of his daughters jobs in a bank. You give this other person's wife a shop in so and so place. This other person wants to go to Hajj, they go to Hajj. This one wants to do something. When the time for election comes and you say, this is the person I'm supporting, because of those people that you have given, they won't mess up. Why some people are trying to raise money to give dollars to some people? You already have bought their loyalty since. Have a hand in appointing all party chairmen, all parties chairmen, all parties. So it's not. So when you hear that 2 people are gunning for an office, and you are not in the party, you call the other parties running against him. Say, you want to be chairman? We'll fund you. Right. Secure INEC and state rec, blogs and social media, religious leaders, royal fathers, appointment of board of chairmen and DGs. It says, refer to number 2. Get 4 constitutional lawyers on retainership.
I think it's safe to say that Nigeria at the moment is booming with 2 different echoes. On the serious side, what I mean on the serious side, those who are tasked with this, with position of leadership, everybody is complaining. You look at newspaper for the last couple of days, it's dominated by opposition parties complaining that Tinubu is at the center of their party problem. It's bad enough that Labour Party are complaining about that, but PDP, come on now. Oh, you look at the other side of the newspaper, nothing else but VDM. So for some reason, I don't know. Everybody seems to. I mean, this is more prominent within the southern space compared to on the. It's all about VDM or whatever. So it's VDM, 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 VDM. Like, what is going on? Then on the other side,
Because
everybody is blaming Tinubu, not just not just for the economy or how. But it seems as even the economy now only us they complain. Saudi Arabia just dosed out 220, that's $25 billion to finish our pipeline, Nigerian to Morocco pipeline project that was
you know,
initiated in 2016, signed by Buhari, and they don't finish under Tinubu now. While I don't even know what is the national conversation is at this moment, right? But all I know that our natural resources, to which every Tom Dick Harry is hoping and making us about, is being channeled away while we engage in conversation that disappear like Snapchat. As you go to sleep, so is everything that we collectively as a nation talk about across all the media. As we wake up with fresh arguments and distraction. While they hail Ibrahim Traore, a $225 billion project been finalized directly to start pumping gas from Niger Delta
and then it says,
via Morocco to Europe. Because people don't understand exactly what is going on. Right? America unplug Russia, Europe from Russia energy supply and connect them to our own free of charge. Oh, because the last time I checked, I don't know what is the deal. What's the percentage of the agreement? What's the agreement like? But we just know say like play, our energy is going out. And we don't get light. At a time whereby the whole world they reevaluate their energy
yes,
capacity.
this,
Because you need more than you currently have. Times 10. America need more than they currently have times 10 to be able to dominate the race of AI. But I don't understand. I don't know where we did. But the funniest thing is that now our own gas they need to power that. Before Biden left office, they finished that of Lobito corridor, as they call the fast train that link DRC to Angola to the Atlantic Ocean. That one are for cobalt, rare earths, gold, you name it. So our own pipeline that is being financed by UAE, and so channel gas from Niger Delta straight up all the way to Germany, France, England, you name it, every country in Europe. Bola Tinubu, couple of months ago, banned the importation of solar. But as we speak, that decision is being reversed. Now the question is that before now, even though now China dominates the supplies of solar panel as we speak, but the Nigerians focus on importing from Germany and which other country again we're importing from. So with the situation on ground in terms of geopolitics, where America is saying is either you are with us or you are against us, we don't know where we are. So why the conversation in Nigeria, the attention, the energy as we speak is divided sharply into two. The adults in the room are blaming the president for everything. Rightly so. But the fact that they are also blaming the president or the opposition party for their inability to put their party together tells you everything you need to know. That come 2027 and beyond,
This is a
it's
meeting.
always going to be consensus. Turn by turn. Turn by turn is a consensus agreement. That's another way of saying it. With the youth or the young people not on the table. Thanks to Peter Bishowore and now VDM is at the center stage. So why everybody, every adult in the room, from business to military to every institution in Nigeria, focus their blame on the president? As I said, rightly so. After all, the festival of campaign and election was solely about one man, the president.
Meaty part of
But on the other side of the aisle, there's people who you would think will be more rational. Or people say who they cry, they see road. People who are not partisan, who don't belong to either party or the other. People who say they are either one Nigerianness or however, whatever you believe, but you are not partisan in your approach. But for some reason, they found solace in one man, VDM. So the question I'm asking today, come 2027, now so we want a divide because it seems as if that is how it was in 2023. A very easy winning strategy. Easy because we know how they take the winner. So is it going to be now where whoever VDM whoever VDM go support, is that where the majority of the youth go follow? No. I don't expect VDM to come out 2027 and say this is my candidate. And that's where this whole foolishness, that's where it go crumble. But most importantly, the fact that the obedient movement are not seeing that this whole VDM of a thing is literally directed at them, not necessarily to disorganize them, but to make sure they never have a coherent plan going forward. I said yesterday, now every 3 months, right? Uh, Daily Faro to me was literally 3 4 months ago when they use test the pause of your understand.
Nice VDM. The fact that even Falana himself come out this morning, day, that's okay. It's over.
Part of it.
This is a well coordinated effort. Whatever or whoever that is behind it, kudos. So 2 years literally after the last election and 2 years to the next election, the opposition cannot boast of their gains in terms of gaining more membership, ability to force maybe the government in power to reevaluate their policy, or even have a formidable front.
Say, get you.
But for some reason, they seems to be united in what? In blaming one man, just one single person. There on the other side, I never hear or see any deliberate attempt to either make the movement have a united front, or instead, they are always waiting to defend wherever the man in power throw at them. The fact that the tree consciousness is so wrapped around these two figures, why at a time where the superpower are literally replicating what what they did aftermath of Berlin 1845, I've been at 44, where they agreed to come and partition and scavenge every nook and cranny of the planet. The same thing is happening. Once again, we have German now, this time around. Before now, only British. Now we have the
US or
German, the
China support.
British, the French having direct access to our our resources. But literally nothing, peanut free, because I don't know how much. What is the agreement? Which we decide. I know here say Volkswagen. Volkswagen is building a factory in Nigeria, or BMW, or Mercedes, or Peugeot, or imagine only one policy Trump will come out. Everybody is routing back to the United States. So even as the manufacturing system take shape, nothing is coming to Nigeria. But guess what? Our resources is going faster, going out faster than ever before. If they tell our if they tell the likes of Z, Amadu Bule and the rest, who at their time pretty much the oil was discovered, say there's going to be a pipe from Wari to Germany before we even know say there will should be a pipe from that Wari refinery to Efuru. Those who know what you understand how far that is. It's literally a walkable distance. At a time where na energy will determine literally those that will run the world. Those wey no get am dey scavenge the whole planet to make sure they dey get am. When we get am in abundance, we no even know what is going on. Bola Tinubu dey busy saying dey sign local whatever they call the policy that they are going to be signing into law by executive order, which is to prioritize the local content, local production, and whatnot. They say now they want replicate Trump policy, but at the same time, they are accepting $191 million from outside into our health sector. We don't know what is the arrangement for. The good thing is money people are coming to invest, but what is the arrangement? How are we going to pay back? Are we still paying back with resources? Because they still don't understand the fact that we could power Europe of tomorrow. The capacity of Germany, the energy capacity where Germany gets now, they go need am times 10 for them to even stand a chance of being at the receiving end of the next of this AI driven industrial age.
because of their
But we will not be even base of power for 12 hours a day, any part of the country. But we are going to make sure we power Europe. Easy. Done.
businesses in your country.
Before Biden left office, they make sure they finalize that of like I said, the Libido corridor fast train that will literally transport the resources from DRC via Congo, Angola, then out. Raw. Why would they shout Traore, 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 Traore? Before Traore, Traore, we don't forget say there is heavy bloodshed between the Rwanda's border and DRC. Over what? Over the same resources. But as we speak, United States is able to bring the two countries together, sign a peace pact to be paid by their own resources. So the smooth transfer of resources from DRC via Angola to Silicon Valley has been solidified. Easy. Now they don't solidify the energy from Warri straight to Frankfurt, Germany. That one too has been solidified. Going forward, going forward, it doesn't they don't care how una take govern una self. Una wan use dictator, una wan it doesn't matter. What matter is having
They would support whoever.
a uninterrupted access to the natural resources that will power their next 100 years. So you can elect who you want. Anybody can take over power. It doesn't matter. Because the technology in which they were using to come and enforce, make sure their will is enforced directly, it's now autonomous. It's now fucking autonomous. They fit sit down for they fit sit down for Billings, North Dakota, or Fargo, or Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Providence, Rhode Island. Somebody go sit down for that place. Go say, make nobody walk out for the
Whoever.
creek of Niger Delta, and it go happen. They go no be say they don't need to shout. Now text message they go send to everybody for phone for the whole that region. They go send message from Ohio to everybody for Niger Delta. They say, now
You had
see una two
the
left leg
fallout
near that refinery. Anything where you see take out. And guess what? It go happen. If you try near the facility, you now autonomous bullets. Now drone will just come blast you off. Before now them go literally say how they go before now then they when they first
from
come,
the Senate,
you know, when they first come, scatter Ibinike or take over everywhere. Yeah, they play this thing where they
that said how they helped Buhari to get into office and remove Jonathan.
yep. Nope. It's not what I want. Yeah. But moreover, now before independence, they were like literally patrolling every nook and cranny of Niger Delta, for instance, with guns, men with machine gun. They patrol. They say if you move, they move you. If you move, they move you. That's how it was. After independence, they don't train our soldier now. This is where Showore comes into Showore Atu Naja argument. When Showore they say Naija military na machinery, but to Naja couldn't phantom that. So after independence now, they don't need to go stand and they're going to use our men. If you do anyhow for Niger, then you see that I see what Obasanjo use the military men do for OD. You move the community to extinction, right? No be in order be that. Now that order was from the masters from the west. Because if to say no be then give the order, Obasanjo no go win. That will be the end of Obasanjo. He no fit come up for Nigeria again. People now they forget how they do am. Right? It's approved. Even the NSAS killing was approved by the West. To say they no approve am, Tinubu, Kilongwe, Buhari no fit come up for Nigeria again. But it was approved. So fast forward to today, they no need to come stand on your head with gun or use your own people. Now it's autonomous. Satellite, you know who knows the satellite? Elon Musk Starlink, they hover over your head. You move, they move you. So how you govern, how we govern ourselves going forward, whatever, don't give a shit. But I don't, we're not going to actually feel understand this until, because 30 years from now, everything will clear. By that time, the battle where they go on now between the superpower, winner we don't come clear because we winner have to emerge. Whether they like within Chinese and America, winner have to emerge in this AI race. You can never have two captain on a ship. Never happened before. It's just a matter of time. The Germans will tell you that. The Japanese will tell you that. The Soviet Union will let you understand that too. We just got to be one captain on the planet Earth. So now, what is going on now is alliance, right? Because I still hold the belief that Americans are responsible for pushing out the French from the Sahel region, literally pushing them into the hand of Russia, because America will need Russia, not necessarily on their side, but m- making sure that the relationship, there's no cordial relationship between the Chinese and the Russia. Business wise, how that would take happen, 9 day of food. So just like again, America had to bring Chinese into their own sphere of control, which is the United Nations and all that crap, World Trade Organization, in order for them to be able to be in a better position to finish the Cold War with with the Soviet Union. Even though the German, even though the Dutch helped free America from from the grips of the British in the 1700s, America still had to chase the Dutch away from the Philippines when they come of age. America had to literally fund Soviet Union to keep going with the war with German, to weaken them in order for them to come out and literally finish the game. But after then, what happened? They unplugged them. So I don't think I am drifting it too far away from my conclusion that this new relationship between the Sahel region and Russia, it is actually the doing of the United States. Because one, they need the total, on the other hand, they need the total uh, submission of the European nation on their side to actually be able to bring Chinese to submission. So just like when they use after the Second World War, literally after the First World War, they use the continent to compensate Europe to rebuild their economy back, because the little one we didn't get before was literally finishing out the First World War. Again, they are using our resources to compensate their ally in order for them to get their total loyalty in this war that we are already in. Because it is not a coincidence that as soon as America unplugged Germany from Russia energy, immediately we went into an agreement with German, and the the payback is straight energy. Before this, even this before this Nigeria Morocco uh, pipeline deal, the French the same thing. As we speak, and they northeast, they mine while the killings they go on to. We don't go forget all this one. No important. VDM is more. If VDM no come out, the country go burn. No matter if we no get light. The VDM is the order of the day. And as far as the leaders are concerned, they like that shit. Boy, they call them, say, now na VDM. Everybody attention is on VDM. So why they use our